The cavern was filled with stone statues and columns. The ceiling was high above their heads in the darkness, and the thick columns were dispersed throughout. Scattered between were 20-foot-high statues of warriors with long beards, gray eyes, all looking towards the center, where Teran and the others walked. Scattered puddles speckled the floor, along with an occasional small lake, and the cavern echoed with the sounds of dripping. Teran noticed a small white creature with dozens of legs scurry off into the dusty darkness. There was a howling sound, and a sudden breeze flowed through the cavern. "I don't like this one bit," Omi said. "There's something unnatural here, something that screams death." Verena nodded. "It feels like a tomb." Teran felt something like a warning emanating through his skin from the amulet of the ancient kings. "Maybe we should turn back." "We'll be fine, my friend," Moritan said. "Don't let the unknown scare you." Lork made some clicking sounds. That's how he communicates. "There are several humanoids of some sort approaching," Verena translated. Teran heard something that sounded like clanking and rattling. He drew his sword. From the shadows, a skeleton holding a sword appeared. It was wearing a tattered military uniform of some kind. The rags were red and gold in color. Teran frowned. "There's a skeleton with a sword walking towards me." Moritan shined his illumiball at the skeleton as it approached, illuminating the pale bones with yellow light. "Kill it." "How the hell do you kill a skeleton?" Teran asked. "It's already dead." "Cut off its head," Verena said. The skeleton swung its sword at Teran, and he parried the attack with a swift movement. He swung at the skeleton's neck with all his might, decapitating it. The skull rolled across the floor, but the headless skeletal body still attacked him. Teran parried another attack. "It didn't work." "Cut everything else off too," Verena said. Moritan dropped the illumiball on the floor, where it continued illuminating the area. He drew both of his swords and rushed to Teran's side. He cut off the skeleton's sword arm, but the skeleton continued coming at Teran, swinging its other bony fist. Teran swung hard and cut that arm off also. And Moritan cut off both of its legs with a swift, powerful swing. The bones fell onto the floor with a crack. Several more skeletons emerged from the darkness. Some were draped in tattered red and gold uniforms. Others wore rusty armor in various states of disrepair. Some carried swords, while others carried axes or polearms. There were more in the distance, and sounds from the darkness suggested they filled the cavern. Teran frowned. If we have to cut off every one of their appendages, we're going to be here for a while." "Don't ask me what to do." Omi took a fighting stance. "I've never fought skeletons before." "Smash them," Rasha said. Rasha is a 10-foot-tall monster. A little house pet that when he gets angry turns into a 10-foot-tall monster. But right now he's angry, so he's a 10-foot-tall monster. "Smash them," Rasha said. "That works against anything when you do it." Lork made several clicks and sounds. "Lork says there's no use hiding us," Moritan said, as the skeletal warriors surrounded them and closed in. "The skeletons don't have eyes, so they obviously aren't seeing us, at least not in a normal sense." Lork clicked a few more times. "There are hundreds of them," Moritan translated. Sounds like we're going to be in for a long night." "We've been in here a while now," Verena said. "How can you be so sure it's night?" "Long day," Moritan said. "Long night, what's the difference?" He rushed a group of skeletons with both of his swords, parrying attacks from 4 skeletons at once with one sword while he sliced at the arms and legs of the other. "Don't waste time with their heads," he shouted as he fought. "The arms and legs are the most dangerous parts." "Have you ever been bitten by a skeleton?" Verena asked. "I don't imagine it's a pleasant experience." 2 of the skeletons stabbed her in the chest, and she cut their arms off with her sword. Verena is immortal and invincible, so being stabbed with swords to her is like getting flicked. Two more of the skeletons attacked Omi. He blocked their swords with quick movements, knocking the blades away by hitting their sides with his hands and avoiding the sharp edges. Omi's a monk of an order that can't use weapons, but he can block swords with his bare hands. He punched one skeleton hard in the rib cage, sending it sprawling across the floor where its bones broke apart. He kicked the other one, sending it flying backwards into the darkness. Meanwhile, Rasha, still 10 feet tall, went berserk, charging into the skeletons and smashing several at a time with his huge fists. Lork fought the skeletal warriors off with swift movements of his Narthan blade. Lork's senses picked up where the attacks were coming from, and Lork was able to block the skeleton swords and counter with swift slices. Teran struggled to defend the attacks of two skeletons as he waited for an opportunity to launch a counterattack. He was finally able to slice off one of their sword hands, and he kicked the other skeletal warrior, sending him falling backwards. "You don't seem to be carrying your weight, my friend," Moritan said to Teran as he fought off several skeletons. "Maybe I'll rethink having you accompany Lork and I to the Blarn Castle ruins." "It's not my fault. I'm the only one here that doesn't have some sort of special power." Teran blocked an attack from one of the skeletons with his sword. "He's doing pretty well," Verena said, 3 swords sticking out of her chest, all things considered. She winked at Teran, then proceeded to chop away at the skeletons attacking her. "Maybe your friend Verena could come with us too," Moritan said as they fought. "We could definitely use an Allurin." Verena glanced at him and shook her head as she fought off one of the skeletons. "I need to get to Heavenscrest. I can't waste my time helping you with your pet project." Teran and his companions fought valiantly, but the sheer number of skeletons attacking them was overwhelming. As Teran backed away from several skeletal warriors closing in on him, he noticed a towering shape in the shadows. It was a large, dark figure that loomed over the skeletons, wearing a horned helmet, and the darkness around it seemed to be emanating from it. The figure moved towards Teran from the distance, and Teran looked into its helmet and saw emptiness. "What's that?" he asked, pointing at the shape with his sword. "What's what?" Moritan asked. "I don't see anything except more skeletons." Verena fended off a skeletal warrior. "That," Teran continued, pointing. The figure was gone. There were just skeletal warriors and the shadowy darkness beyond them. "Great," Teran said. "On top of everything else, I'm losing my mind." The army of skeletons formed a ring around Teran and his fellow escapees as they stood in a circle with their backs to one another, awaiting the onslaught. "Well, my friends," Moritan said, "this could be it for us. Even I can't defeat 1,000 skeletons, maybe 100, but if anyone has any ideas," Omi said, "now would be a good time to speak up." The skeletons closed in and attacked all at once. Teran did everything he could to fend them off. He could see movement all around him as the others also tried to fight off the skeletons to the best of their abilities. Swords clanked as the sounds of fighting filled the area. Teran could see that his friends were getting tired as the endless onslaught of skeletons attacked. Omi and Lork were moving more slowly. Teran could see the fear in Omi's eyes as he tried his best to block swords coming at him from all directions with his agile forearms. As Teran sliced 2 skeletons, trying to push them back, his sword arm grew tired. Verena was getting sliced all over, and Rasha was taking breaks to catch his breath. Even Moritan was starting to lose a step or two. Teran kept fighting, struggling through pain and fatigue, but it was becoming obvious that there was no way he and his accomplices would be able to overcome the undead army they were facing. He thought about Thelnik as he fought. He'd failed his master, and he'd probably be joining him soon. He had to keep fighting, though. There was no way he was going to give up while he was still breathing. As he fought with his body and pushed through the doubt with his mind, countering with mental energy in the form of determination, the amulet of the ancient king started to vibrate against his chest. He pulled it out and let it fall over his shirt. It glowed with intense white light. He felt a surge in his mind as he sensed the skeletons all around him. He could feel their cold bones with his mind, and on instinct, he tried to push them away from him and his friends. A flash of blinding light filled the cavern, and the skeletons surrounding them flew backwards. Hundreds of the bony warriors disappeared into the shadows. What just happened? Moritán asked. Come on, Teran shouted, seeing an opening in the huge cavern ahead that led into an illuminated stone hallway. The way was free of skeletons, at least for now. Teran headed towards it. Wait, Verena shouted. Teran turned to see her bending over the floor, picking something up. I have to make sure I get all my guts back in. That's disgusting, Moritán said. Verena continued working frantically. Not as disgusting as it would be if my skin closed up before I got all my guts back in. Lork made several clicks. Well, hurry up, Moritán said. Teran could see the skeletons moving towards them from the shadows. We don't have all the time in the world, Moritán said. We'll be fine, Teran said. Let her finish, Omi agreed. Master Omi says I have lots of guts, Rasha said. I think I have 100. Hopefully mine don't fall out. It could take a long time to put them all back again. Rasha's 4 years old, by the way. Verena stood and smiled at Teran. An enormous gas across her belly closed and healed. All right, let's go. They all took off running towards the stone hallway as the skeletons closed in again. Teran fought through his negative thoughts with fierce determination and felt the amulet vibrate as he pushed out with his mind once again, sending skeletons all around them flying back into the darkness. So that's an excerpt from my novel. I'm Michael Monroe, and this is Heroes and Legends, Book 1, The Champions of Heavenscrest. And you can find it on Amazon. Just search for Heroes and Legends by Michael Monroe. Thanks.